Okay, welcome to weekday coronavirus-driven mind stuff. My name is George Ortega, and it is Monday, Memorial Day, May 25th at 7:22 p.m. And this is episode number 32. And this is take two. I was 6 minutes into the other episode, and I let out an expletive. And I've been doing that. I don't tend to use language like that, but as I'm walking through town and people are just doing the wrong things a lot, I'm kind of and I saw I got to work on, and definitely because I've done hundreds of these shows, like with co-hosts and on my own and stuff. And when was it? Last week was the only time in all that time that I actually had to go back and bleep something out. I just actually removed the second or two from the video. So I'm not gonna and I think the reason I was going there, a few minutes ago was because I was talking about the subject of people who aren't doing what they should be doing. And I was talking about Darwinism, and this is like survival of the most responsible, considerate, those who value life the most, who respect others and themselves the most. So, but yeah, no, I kind of got that. That was led to, because basically those words come out when I'm a bit angry or whatever, just like frustrated with something. So let's shift to a different, theme, just mode. I've been playing a lot of bass recently, and when I was growing up in the 70s, I didn't listen to all that much Zeppelin. I mean, they're good, Stairway to Heaven, they had a lot of good stuff, but I just didn't listen, all that much to them. And now, some years ago, I reawakened to how good they are. Just like Joni Mitchell, I reawakened to how good she is. And so anyway, so now I'm reawakening to Zeppelin. I mean, the thing is, they're, I wish, because they're musically, they're pretty good. I mean, they do a lot of things that are very unconventional, interesting, and so I jam to it on bass, and the more interesting their melodies, the more interesting my jamming becomes, more fun. So that's going well, and I've just begun constructing that dresser that I bought, anticipating this woman was going to spend some time here from coming in from the village, and so that didn't work out, but I still got the dresser, and I put one drawer together, earlier today. And then I felt I got to get out, take a walk, whatever, because I have to do this, and then I got to open up my room at 9 in about an hour and a half. So, I'm, it's supposed to take 2 hours. Yeah, I'll probably take 4 or 5. I might take 3 days on it. I'm not going to rush it. I like to do things when I like to do things, not force myself if possible. So that's going well. And my brother, my brother's practicing. He wants to learn piano. He's got a piano, and his kids, I guess, used to play piano, but they're not home anymore. And so he's going to pick up piano. So I sent him this video on whether it's a piano or a guitar, or any instrument where you play chords, I guess. And I guess that's piano, guitar, harp. I don't know. But I guess there aren't all that many instruments where you play chords. But anyway, apparently, if you learn these 4 chords, which are, I think, G, C, D, and A minor, you can play many, 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 many popular songs. So I sent him a link to a YouTube video that shows that. And then I suggested that what I used to do when I, occasionally play around on a keyboard is if you stay to just the black notes, you never go off key. You never hit a bad note, which is cool. If you're on the white notes, yeah, it's very easy. But so I thought, because the idea is I'm trying to help them have fun with it, because the way music is generally taught is very structured, and I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think they focus on fun that much, and I don't think they focus on training people how to make music, how to improvise, which I think is really what music is most about. you know, a lot of people who belong to symphony orchestras, they're very technically proficient, but I imagine a lot of them can't really improvise that well. I mean, like, in other words, like, theoretically, you can get a robot to play or a computer to play technically proficient, you know, instruments, I imagine. So the art of it, well, actually, robots and artificial intelligence can also improvise probably a lot better than we can now. I mean, it's going to be amazing. Which is interesting. We've been talking, you know, I had thought for a long time that eventually, not only is artificial intelligence going to run our corporations, it's going to run our countries, our world. And so there's this one guy in one of the rooms that that I open up, you know, he's from Canada now living in the United States. I mean, he gets it, you know, so we're talking about that. And it's like, then some people are afraid of that. Some people are afraid that, like, oh no, they're going to turn evil and wipe us all out. And trying to explain, no, we program them to be good to people. We program to, and we also program them to not have power over us. You know, we can always pull the plug. They're more like advisors than decision makers in a certain sense. And so naturally, as we trust their advice more and more, they will make better and better decisions for us, and, you know, across the board. And they can't be bribed, they can't be corrupted, they don't lie, you know. So I think there'd be a huge improvement over what we have now, in you know, people who are running corporations and our governments. So what else? What else? Yeah, I don't have much to say in terms of this COVID-19 thing. I've been, you know, I review the headlines every day, sometimes a couple of times, and there's not much going on. You know, I haven't done it today, but, and Trump will occasionally do something, you know. I think the problem, you know, Trump and the Republicans understand that their history, you know, so like, it's like somebody or group of people who don't have anything to lose can be dangerous. So like they're going out for broke. They're abandoning convention. They're abandoning propriety. They're just doing a lot of things that are not helpful to our country, to our world, to our planet, and which is dumb, because like it's all ideologically driven. It's like they have this like ideology that, oh no, the climate isn't important. No, big government is bad. And they base their decisions on that. What they don't get is big government is big people. We, the people, are the government. To the extent that we don't allow, like they tend to, our corporations to usurp that power, you know, that's the real problem. It's not the fact that we have a democracy of and by the people. Anyway, so this woman that that I've gotten kind of close with, she sent me a text today, you know, telling me what I've been telling her for weeks. She says, like, if we don't get a universal basic income, we're going into the depression. She sends me a link to an article. I haven't read it because, like, you know, I don't need to read what I already know. And then basically I responded to her, listen, we're not going to get a basic universal income anytime soon. And I've been telling you we're going into depression. And the unemployment numbers tell you that. It's like 38.5 million unemployment claims. It's going to go up to over 40 this next week. You know, and 40% of those jobs are not expected to come back. So I mean, like, and for me, you know, like, this is like, yeah, this is a challenging time, but it's also a time of great opportunity, because like all you have to do is go back to the history of the Great Depression and the New Deal and see how so much good was done. And I repeat myself because these are, you know, sometimes you need to hear something 5, 6, 10, 20 times before it really sinks in. So what else? Okay, so yeah, I'm opening up the room at 9 tonight. You know, it's my party, and like ordinarily, today I changed it. Like I opened this room on Friday. It was going to be on Monday and Friday, COVID-19, religion, and spirituality. You know, but then I had the first meeting on Friday, and there were a lot of atheists and agnostics in the room, and like that. You know, I didn't want to like debate whether God exists or not, because like to me, it's reason. It's like we don't have a free will. God is all powerful. God controls everything. God exists. God is everything. The universe is everything. God exists. So anyway, so like I did two things. Every Friday I changed it to like God and COVID-19 parentheses, believers only, please. You know, and then on Monday Oh, Monday I'm going to be not today, because today it's just going to be a party. But starting next week, it's just going to be like, staying happy in these times of coronavirus distancing, and helping others to be happy, because that's what it's about. We stay happy and healthy, staying healthy also, yes. So maybe I should change the title, Happy and Healthy. I would, yeah, because it's great, because like I have them listed on Meetup, and like it's a series, so it's basically it repeats itself. So if I change the title on one event description, it changes it on all the subsequent ones. So that's a good feature of Meetup. So yeah, so like tonight I'm gonna open up the room at 9, but see, I don't have my the cameras and stuff set up where I could be on my futon that's now like upright as a couch. I might keep it that way. I don't know. I put it down so I could have the virtual screens. The virtual screens are kind of fun. But what I want to do tonight is just like, I don't want to be on camera. I just want to talk to people, because like, I mean, sometimes I'm a little tired. So I can just like talk to them. I could lie down in my bed and not have my camera on, and just like have a conversation with people, And the other thing I did is ordinarily there was a waiting room, to these meetings where you go there and you wait to be admitted in. I decided not to do away with that, because like that means that I have to kind of like be on alert of, there's this ding and somebody comes in, I gotta like let them in. And so I just like, I'm allowing people into the room, wherever they want. And hopefully we won't get Zoom bombed. So these kids, I guess they go into a room and just like, start disrupting. But one feature that I have to not allow that is that I don't allow participants to share a screen unless I, set that, manually. So, but anyway, yeah, I'm planning to just hopefully have a nice conversation, try to lay back and not manage it so much, let it, go where it wants to go. Because yeah, I got to remember, like I'm good at discussing things, topics, but not so good at conversation. A lot of people are much better than me, I think, at just general conversation. So sometimes during these parties, it's a better time. Sometimes it needs a bit of moderation, but a lot of times it just has its own momentum, and I just sit back and enjoy it and listen. Because I think my conversational skills hopefully are getting better. I've been conversing a lot, over this last month and a half or so. I am tired. I mean, I thought I got some sleep, but tonight I'm definitely going to get some sleep. I was up half the night playing, bass guitar, and then I one of my goals is like in a year, maybe a year or two, I want to get good enough at bass to be a studio musician, because I believe I have a distinctive style of playing. And so like I've got a $200 short string bass that I really like it. It's an Ibanez micro, it's called, or micro. Whereas the standard bass is about 34 inches, the neck. This is 28 and a half. So it's about the same scale as a guitar. So it's much easier to play. And for my style of playing, which is like, I try to play kind of like a lead guitar, it makes sense. So anyway, I was looking for guitars, and I thought that I might get a 5-string. Okay, this is a 5-string, the one that I have. But then I'm realizing I hardly ever go to the 5th string. And when I do, I can hardly hear it because the notes are so low. So I think 4-string is more than good enough, which is good because like the selection of short scale 5-string basses is it's like there's hardly any there, whereas there's a bit more, And Paul McCartney, for example, played a short scale violin bass, Hofner, before he started playing his Rickenbacker. And he's funny. He's reported to have said like he would play whatever guitars people would give them. He didn't want to buy his guitars, so these people would just give him guitars, to popularize them. And so anyway, so like, and then I realized, wait a minute, this is way too premature for me to start doing this. If I want to get serious about this, in about a year, I'll start looking about, into buying because like I'm afraid of going into a studio with a $200 guitar, which is like, it's really it's a great guitar, but sometimes, people are like, prejudiced against things that don't cost that much. which is interesting. I may have mentioned before, there was this video, this guy compared a $100 bass to a $700 bass to a $10,000 bass. And he played pretty much a song alternating with the three. And basically he was demonstrating you can't really hear the difference, you know. So much of that stuff is hype. Anyway, so I was doing that last night, and that's why I kind of didn't sleep all that much. I slept a lot today. I mean, I think I finally woke up around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which is fine. You know, if I need sleep, I'll get it. So what else? Yeah, I definitely would like to get this, you know, this dresser constructed, and I'll work on it a bit tomorrow. I guess by Wednesday should be done. It shouldn't, you know, because it only took me about maybe 15 minutes to put one drawer together, and there's 6 of them. So, that's like, I guess most people would do that faster, but I like to take my time. And what else? I don't have anything to say. I'm done. And there's 11 minutes and 41 seconds left. I'm a little scared about the future, if you want to know, because, like, you know, people are not all that good. You know, just the fact that so many people eat animals, knowing what happens to these animals on factory farms, how they're, you know, quite literally being tortured in many cases, and just severely abused in others, and most. It's beyond, you know, it's like, so there's part of me that thinks that, well, because people have a lot of self-interest, that we'll all do the right thing for us all. But then there's another part of me that recognizes people aren't all that sharp. You know, our leaders included, sometimes especially. So, but I mean, like, when I go there, I just remind myself, wait a minute, you know, like, you know, my life, like, I'm 62, you know, I might live another 30 years, maybe not, maybe I'll die before that, but like, either way, you know, like, there's been like almost 14 billion years since the Big Bang, going backwards, you know, to the past, and then who knows, that presumably an eternity before that, you know, even though science can't tell us anything about it. And then after I die, after we die, after, like, this planet no longer exists, there's an eternity into the future, you know? So yeah, you know, it's a good perspective to have, because, like, then you say, well, you know, you hope for the best, but seeing this big picture helps us to not freak out, to just, like, you know, have some equanimity, some acceptance. But I, you know, again, I do tend to be an optimist, and I believe that the world is going to be much better because of this, just like it was much better for the United States after the Great Depression. And again, it's very important. A lot of people will say, you know, a lot of conservatives, because they're such idiots, oh, the New Deal didn't end the Depression. The Depression only ended in World War II. And, like, the Republicans, sometimes they like wars. They just, like, there's something about them. They're violent people in some ways. And so, like, you know, suggesting that, I mean, like, in our situation, yeah, I think we're going to another depression. It's not going to be as severe as the Great Depression, because we already have safety nets built in, and we have some banking regulations that they didn't have back then, you know, other things. But I think it will be a depression. And like, yes, what the conservatives and Republicans don't get is that, yes, World War II ended the Great Depression, but it wasn't the going out and killing everybody that did it. It was the spending the money on munitions, on, you know, on the military, you know. And so, like, the idea is, like, I don't think the Republicans are that dumb that they're going to, like, want to start a World War III. You know, you know, they do have some self-interest. So, barring another war, you know, the only other viable option is to ramp up spending on the scale of World War II. In other words, like, don't invest in killing people, invest in renewable energy and all these things that they're actually are essential to our future generations, our kids, grandkids, great-grandkids, you know, climate change, and a lot of other things. I mean, there's so many ways that we can, like, spend a lot of money, put people to work in a way that helps us all without our killing each other again. So yeah, I am optimistic about that, because again, the other thing is like, sometimes with poor populations who've never been middle class or rich, they're taken advantage of. They don't have much hope, and but with people, in other words, a lot of people who've lost their jobs are in the middle class, and they're not going to tolerate politicians not, supporting jobs programs, not supporting what needs to be done to lift the depression. I mean, like in between 32, 34, 36, the Republicans lost 40 Senate seats. And this was like when there were many, many more poor people that didn't have much to lose. Now, a lot of these people, again, they're losing jobs. They're in the middle class, sometimes upper middle class. And so they're not going to tolerate, this kind of like ideology that, no, like, you're on your own. You lost your job. It's not your fault, but too bad. So we'll see what happens with that. What else? So yeah, I was like walking through town, and I was feeling this kind of a hunger, but I know it's not hunger, because I just like, before I took the walk, I ate a big salad, and then I was still a little hungry. So I ate like some steel cut oats and kidney beans in it. And then like I put some spices and stuff and tahini sauce, and I ate that, and that was good. And so like I was full, but I'm walking through town. And so like, this is like a kind of hunger that's, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know really with this. It's like, we feel hungry, but we know it's not hunger. And so like, I didn't know what it was. I didn't feel, sometimes I feel the need for chocolate or a sweet or something, but that wasn't that. So in other words, I didn't know what I felt I wanted, some taste in my mouth. It must be like oral fixation or something, back from when we were infants. We had this oral stage, I guess, if that's to be accepted. And so I think I was, yeah, I think that full hunger was about like, and sometimes when I get that, like these, they're sugar-free Thin Mints, like they're chocolate covering and the mint on the inside. Those are so good. A little expensive. They're like, over $3, and you only get like 6 of them or 7, whatever. But I like that they're sugar-free. And I don't like to eat them because I'm a vegan. And even though there's teeny, they don't really have to put milk or eggs in these things, but they do, because I believe it's intentional. I believe it's to discourage vegetarian and veganism. The food industry, they're not good people in a lot of ways. So anyways, like once in a while I say, well, I'm not perfect. I mean, if there's a trace amount of eggs and dairy, I still eat it once in a while, even though I prefer not to. Many times I just, when I get that urge, I resist it, I refuse. Most of the time, really. So Tuesday's tomorrow. I have no idea what's going on. Oh, Tuesday, yeah, tomorrow at 3:00. There's this Wild Souls meetup where it's fun. We do a lot of these human relations kinds of exercises, try to connect in a deeper way. Yeah, so that's at 3:00, and I should, I'm definitely like, I'm probably going to leave the party. Well, I mean, I could stay like, it often goes past 12:30 at night, it starts at 9:00. Sometimes it goes till 2 or 3. I think at 1:00, I'll just like sign off if it's gone that far, and just meditate. I shouldn't play bass. I shouldn't, just meditate, get a lot of rest, and hopefully sleep, so I can, hopefully I can wake up relatively early, let's say 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, and start putting together this, the dresser, and I've got to do more dishes, and but other stuff I got to do some other stuff, I guess. My cousin wrote me from California, so I got to write her back. So what else? Um, 3 minutes left, the 3-minute warning. All right, well, anyway, these shows are presented through White Plains Community Media on channel 76 if you get Optimum and 45 if you get Verizon, Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. So watch them, and if you miss them on when they're not really live, I mean, I record them the day before, but when they're cable cast, the studio, the station, White Plains has them on their website, and then I upload them to YouTube. And so, okay. What else? What else? What else? What else? This is kind of like fun. I mean, like, you know, it's like, it's not something I have to prepare for. Sometimes, like when I was taking my walk, I was thinking to myself, what do I want to like talk about? And I was thinking like, yeah, I'll do a show on this Darwinism thing. But, you know, like I tried that, and 6 minutes into it, as I mentioned before, an expletive came out, whatever. So like, but anyway, so like a lot of times no, most of this stuff is just whatever happens to be on my mind at the time, which probably means that there are very few people who are watching this, which is fine. You know, this is art. You know, a lot of times you do art not for an audience, but you do art as a form of self-expression. For example, let's say I were to sing a song, right? And let's say I sang it and didn't record it. It's for my enjoyment, you know. Nobody ever hears it, and the song is gone. It's not like a work of art where, you know, survives a certain amount of time, whatever. So it's art for art's sake, yes. And our world seems to not appreciate art nearly as much as it should, which is very unfortunate, because like artistic people are often far more creative in a positive way than non-artistic people. And I think FDR understood that with the New Deal. You know, he created a program for, you know, a jobs program for writers and dancers and musicians and, you know, painters and all. All right, so 45 seconds left. I hope you're enjoying this Memorial Day and that you enjoyed the weekend. People are getting out. I haven't seen the news recently, but apparently some beaches are open, and that's nice, although there's certain restrictions. So stay safe. And yeah, I would like, you know, try to become more religious, try to like, you know, pray to God more, become a better person, because I think to the extent that we all become better people, then we will navigate this much better. All right, so I will see you again tomorrow.